Thank you, Steve, for the intro. Welcome to the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com. I am your host, Vince Barry. I hope everybody's having a splendid Tuesday so far. Oh, it's so funny, Ryan, when you shave, and then I don't notice it until I look up at the camera. Wow, it's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Almost didn't recognize you.
I was like, keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing. That's wonderful. So, Eric, Steve, how are you guys?
All right. I can't complain. I mean, overall, we have quite a lot to talk about, and some good, some bad, some ugly. But that's typical. I mean, we've had a long stretch of many hours of wrestling in the last 3 days, with more to come. So, I can complain, and I will complain. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far overall.
Cool. I think, for the most part, everything is very well wrestled. And aside from a few people who are injured.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, everything else was fairly well wrestled this weekend. UFC, I had a good weekend because UFC was fun. I was able to watch UFC fights. I then watched NXT. It was a nice lead, and I think NXT went right into UFC, and then the next night I got to watch Summerslam. So it was a nice just continuation all weekend of wrestling or fighting in some sort.
Well, I think we should dive right into NXT.
Yes, there.
I will start off by saying, scale of 1 to 5, NXT delivered again with a 5 out of 5.
Oh, yeah.
I think hands down, every single match, start to finish, the booking, everything, the storytelling, everything was done perfectly. Even the little things like Sasha and Becky being front row, and watching them as fans jumping out of their seats, and the NXT crowd is always a great crowd, and it delivered. Shinsuke wins the title. He had the entrance of the night.
I'd say entrance of the weekend.
That was actually going to be the intro I played, but the guy who plays the violin, it would have taken too long to get to the.
Yeah.
And plus everybody else is singing, so it's like a whole thing. You really, if you haven't seen that particular thing, if you aren't an NXT fan or you haven't watched it yet, just watch that. That and
watch the
Steve,
match.
you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this, but you have to watch the glorious entrance of Bobby Roode.
I will say this.
I like how he ascended.
I hate the whole glorious deal. I hate everything about it. But I will tell you, his entrance was fucking awesome. I enjoyed
he does the nod.
Yeah.
Just so good.
I did enjoy it.
I enjoyed the crowd getting into his song.
Hey, but listen, if rumors hold true, we may not have to deal with this glorious bullshit for all too long, because it's just a matter of time before we get ourselves a little beer and a little bit of money.
Money!
Oh, buddy.
If they actually called them beer money, wow.
What would be the substitute for beer money?
Well, for the time being, they could still do the dirty heels with Aries.
Yeah.
Right.
Beer money.
Beer money is the money.
I don't know what kind of other word you could use.
Whiskey money?
Alcohol, cash. Because beer money is kind of like, I got beer money, So it was one of the things TNA did right in the last 10 or 15 years was beer money.
Yeah, that was about it.
Do you remember James Storm's drinking belt? He had a little toy John Cena spinner belt that they put his fake Budweiser logo on, and then they put a bottle of beer on the spinner instead of the WWE logo. So when he spun it, it was like spinning a bottle of beer.
For me, it was all about the Boozer Cruiser.
The Boozer Cruiser!
Love the Boozer Cruiser. Love the Boozer Cruiser.
That was one of those thrown together tag teams that became such a big success, like the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, you were always waiting for them to kind of split up. and then they didn't, and they were a team for a while. And then when they split up, you're like, I wish they were back together. So you're right. It was one of those things that they were kind of thrown together, but it definitely worked.
But
Let's talk about the matches like from NXT. Let's kind of start at the beginning, as they say, rather than just kind of skip around.
Yeah.
Back to Brooklyn. So what do we think of Bobby Roode and Andrade, whatever, Cien Almas? And I hate to say whatever, but it's like he has too many names.
Oh yeah, it's a bit much.
Well, why do you think Carlito became just Carlito?
I was a little disappointed with Bobby Roode's finish.
Yeah,
I
was too.
I don't like that.
Pump handle. I mean, that's pretty basic. It's like a body slam nowadays. Like that was a little weak.
The two like indie finishers that they always try and give people are like a pump handle power bomb or a pump handle slam or a rolling neck breaker. Everybody that came in at one point had a rolling neck breaker, and it never gets over with anybody. And neither does this thing. I wouldn't mind a power bomb, some kind of power bomb as his finisher if he's going to call it the glorious bomb. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But just I don't know. Maybe somebody else taking it would look better, but I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's a pump handle.
Yeah.
I'm
I
thinking
don't give a fuck who's taking it. It's it's a pump handle.
Right.
I'm thinking about his next NXT Takeover opponent because I'm like, where do we go from here with Roode? Obviously they need to step up his opponent level.
I mean, I'll tell you right now that I hear that Eric Young officially signed, and I think they need to do a TNA type of NWO type of takeover, and put Aries and Roode and Young and Joe and and recreate what started the Monday Night Wars. I mean, it could be very interesting. I would enjoy that. But,
How much longer is Joe going to be in NXT?
Well, that's the other question. I mean, now he dropped the title, so does he get called up soon?
I think he'll get his rematch at the next Takeover and then come up.
Does he need to lose twice to Shinsuke, though?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Did Bailey have to lose twice?
Get, called up.
Well, wait.
Did Bailey,
match. Did Bailey have to lose twice to...
She didn't deserve that. She was already dead. You know what I mean? That's the same thing, you'd think when Brock was smashing on Randy Orton. Stop it, he's already dead. Like, that's all I can think of. Especially with poor Bailey. Poor Bailey.
We'll get to that because I have some thoughts. But, yeah, but Bailey, you knew that was her NXT goodbye,
Yeah.
Which is fine, and we'll get to her when we talk about Raw. But I think the tag team match was
the match.
That was an edge of your seat thing, man.
Oh yeah, start to finish.
I kept thinking that Ciampa was going to turn. Like there were so many times at the end of the match.
I was waiting for it.
It didn't happen. I'm kind of glad it didn't because I'm not ready for that yet.
They might. It's going to happen. They're just going to drag it out, or maybe they're going to switch it and Johnny's going to turn. Who knows? But there's a turn coming eventually. But it was I think the best wrestler.
I said I thought they'd get the belt so Authors of Pain could step up for the title.
Yes.
They still don't have individual names yet, though.
I think they should just be
like... said shit.
One of them is Author and the other one's Pain.
There you go. No, one should be like Shakespeare.
Yeah, they should give him actual author names.
One should be Dan Brown, and then his finisher could be the Da Vinci Code Breaker.
Nice.
I hate myself for that one.
I approve it.
If they had literary names, that would be an interesting twist to it. If they revealed their names were like Samuel Beckett and somebody else. Let's see here.
Aries Jose match.
Yeah, I was rooting for Jose in this one because I just figured he's the new talent.
Yeah, the conga line.
I know, right? He had a damn conga line. How did he lose the match? But Austin Aries snaps after the match, and you've got your new feud with Hideo.
Oh, and Hideo brought out the GTS too.
I was
He
kind of
also brought
disappointed
out-
by his version.
That feud is going to be
Brought out
something to
those
watch.
brown-ass shoes with
He's
no
the one that
socks.
got that move from.
Yeah, he was the originator of the move.
Oh
Punk
yeah, I know. It's just
took
the
it.
way he the knee was a little bit delayed.
He hits it. He hits it more. It does. It's not for him. I think it's more of a thigh
Yeah.
thing, like the top of the thigh, rather than a knee. And I think that's what the
Aries
differentiation.
put out
between
like a really
Punk is.
funny tweet about Hideo as far as like his not wearing socks with his shoes or something like that. It was pretty funny.
That was, yeah. I don't. He had these high water, fucking blue pants on, no socks, and brown shoes, and it's like, oh, Hideo, this is not fashion sense. Or maybe I'm just old. I don't know. Maybe that's
But
the
I'm
modern
just-
look
I'm
nowadays.
It might be, I don't know.
To that feud, that match, you know, that's
Yeah,
going to
so-
be incredible.
What did you guys think of Billy Kay and Ember Moon?
Neither
like
one
both
do
of
anything
these
for me.
groups,
To be
I
honest
like
with
both of them. First
I
of
can't
all,
complain
because
about
you know you need, like, I hate to be that guy, but you really do need another like black girl on the roster. Let's just say it. There's only one or
Shame.
two, right? I'm sorry, but they need some diversity on this roster, man. And Billy Kay, I like Billy Kay because she's like the blue version of Eva Marie, but she can actually wrestle. And she's Australian, which makes it even better.
See, I thought when Emma was still on NXT, I thought they were going to have like a Australian women thing with her, Emma, and
Didn't they have some
Peyton,
twins?
and Peyton Royce, and have like three Australian girls.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
I
they're, like Steve had said before we started, we're going to give other women a chance to.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Because I was thinking, like, I think Asuka's going to take this belt all the way to Orlando.
Oh, probably. I think it's gonna open up a lot of challengers. Everybody's gonna get their title shot. Everybody's gonna get their chance to look good working with Asuka, and then we'll get to see who, you separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, when you
They've got
have
tons
them
of,
wrestling her.
Tons in NXT ready to come up
Ready to
to
roll.
NXT
Ready to
television.
roll. I liked Ember Moon's blockbuster because I haven't seen anybody do a
Looks
blockbuster
like a
since Buff
blockbuster
Bagwell.
stunner, kind of.
Yeah, it was like
And
a
I'm digging the red eyes,
stunner.
too.
Yeah, the red eye thing. She's like a werewolf, a Blair Wolf. It's cool. So yeah, she had the
Joe
entrance
was-
with the moon. Everybody had. This is what I liked. Even though it's NXT, they had special entrances,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they made them. Asuka had the ribbon or the sheet that she was
Yep.
carrying. That was real cool. Bailey always has her inflatable arm flailing tube man deals, but
They need
Yeah,
to
they did
steal
some
that
special
Family
ones.
Guy clip and just have her just repeat that one time for WWE pay-per-view.
in Weeko Pog. Yeah, that would be great. But that match, now that we've moved, up our way up the card here, Asuka versus Bailey, another really well wrestled match. Listen, there was nothing. You almost wish there was something to complain about on this show, because then it would be more interesting to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But it was fucking good. It was just.
heard
It was
that.
a
I heard
well
it got
wrestled
good.
match. The right person went over. Everybody comes out looking like $1 million.
Yeah, Bailey had her goodbye, and it was
Bailey looked like a.
put over
It was
Asuka.
her opportunity, right? The NXT fans helped make her Bailey look like a big deal on her way to Raw, which helps.
Yep.
It also helps that some of those people who were in Brooklyn were probably also at Raw, because they'll do a 3-day weekend. So
Very
It
likely.
helps.
yeah, but that was a very good match. And how about our main event, Joe Nakamura? Holy shit, this was a hard-hitting match.
Oh yeah.
I would say the most hard-hitting of the weekend, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's one particular one that I think beats this out.
A little bit.
But yeah, it was excellent.
Joe is always solid. He had his game face on. Shinsuke, I wish that Japanese wrestling was more accessible.
Yeah.
It's starting to be now, because they've got JR and other people doing commentary on their stuff, but for a long time that Japanese, wrestling. When I would watch it on YouTube, I would try and give it a chance. But you watch it on YouTube with the Japanese commentary and Japanese subtitles and whatever else, you have no clue what the hell's going on. So it's hard to get. It was hard to get into.
Subtitles would be hard to sub that.
Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine the WWE embracing the Japanese things like in the 80s and having Muta there in the 80s? It would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Like the NWA was doing it right with Muta in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, WWF had their own. They had Inoki, right? They would bring Inoki. They gave Inoki the WWF Martial Arts Championship. So he was one of the. Yeah.
That was like pre-Hulkamania era, though.
Yeah. They
Hulk
needed.
Hogan probably wouldn't let that ride on his.
Antonio, brother.
But you ever see Hogan
Right.
matches
You just
in
say it
Japan?
like that.
Hogan wrestled really well in Japan.
I'll tell
No,
you
he
something,
did.
one brother. This is
You're a martial arts champion. I'm gonna chop you down with the edge of my hand, brother. Oh, Jesus. But no, he really did wrestle. 90. Well, even in the 80s, he was wrestling really well in Japan. But there was a match I saw from maybe 92-ish. It was like right after. I think it was in between his WWF and his WCW runs. He wrestled a hell of a match. And his finisher was an axe bomber, and it was an elbow drop in Japan, as opposed to a leg drop, which was he probably should have adapted that for the U.S. so he didn't have to constantly have knee and hip surgery.
Spine is didn't it kill his spine?
Yep, spinal surgery. That's why my favorite move from Psychosis was the guillotine leg drop.
Oh, I love that.
But you know that shit had to hurt like a mother.
That's why Fandango had to stop doing the top rope leg drop.
Oh yeah, that top rope leg drop. It looks really, really good, and then there's no good way to take that bump. Speaking of no good way to take that bump, how about the Kinshasa to Joe's face? They sold it like he dislocated his jaw. I don't know if he did or not. In the fracas of the whole evening.
I heard it's story injury.
But that's good that they did something like that, because Joe's a tough guy. So for him to be pinned, it's they need a reasonable
Is anyone else hearing
excuse.
this?
Joe
Yeah,
put out-
that sounds. Is somebody making a smoothie?
Joe
I
put
didn't
out-
need to bring notice to it, but
I think Steve's making a smoothie.
okay.
That's what it was. It was probably Stacy. Hi, Stacy. I hope your smoothie tastes good.
Yeah, she's on the other end of the house.
Sorry, I just was hearing it. No one was acknowledging
You know,
it. So
some kale in there,
holy crazy! Like,
I haven't joined the kale bandwagon. No.
No, I tried kale once. It was not fun.
Spinach is alright. Kale, I can't do.
I can do spinach. Kale is not that level. So let's move our way from
To
Saturday
the
to
long-ass
Sunday.
day called SummerSlam.
Jesus
Holy shit.
Christ, that was the longest shit ever.
I mean, seriously, what, fucking 6 hours with the pre-show? I mean, and then they wanted you to watch Holy Foley afterwards.
Which I did.
I did.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, it really was way too long.
It was long.
Way too long.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
quite frankly, well, we'll get there, but I can't understand how NXT keeps blowing away, SummerSlam, for example. Because in my opinion, NXT was a million times better than SummerSlam.
Thank
It was
you.
because,
I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said that.
it was
Uh,
because NXT was 2 hours short, right to the point, and SummerSlam you were hanging around for 6 hours.
I think for SummerSlam, they were just trying to get everybody on the card,
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
what it
it
seems
is?
like.
You know what it is too, though. It's like a lot of shit did not end the way we expected it to. Whether it be Sasha losing the title already, which what the fuck did you give it to her for if she was taking time off to heal injuries? So I don't really get that decision at all, and that just kind of sucks. I don't know. I mean, the New Day, I'm happy they kept the titles, but they kept the titles. I was, there was just a lot. I don't know. It was weird. I mean, a lot of the matches
here we
were,
go.
a lot of the matches I thought were great. A lot of the finishes I think were poor. But the one we really have to talk about is Brock Orton, because I've heard a lot of mixed things. One is that went exactly the way it was supposed to go, and then I've heard that wasn't how it was supposed to go. So I don't really know, but I feel like it ended. I mean, you had two matches that you had the Reigns match that never even got started on a SummerSlam, and then you had, the Orton match end abruptly, because of bleeding, which, I mean, listen, the gash was pretty fucking diesel, but I remember a day where Ric Flair would wrestle 30 minutes fucking gushing blood like it was nothing. So, it's like you're trying to somewhat go back to the Attitude Era and then fucking pull the trigger. So, I don't know. But what are you guys hearing about the Brock Orton thing? Charlie, what's up, brother?
Oh, can he hear? We can't hear you, brother.
I want to hear from Charlie because he was
there.
Live. He was there. Charlie was there, and he's gonna have probably a different aspect of how SummerSlam was.
Well, unfortunately, we can't hear him, so somebody else.
Here you guys.
Oh, hey, there he is.
Hey.
So SummerSlam, I can testify, was a decent. I was second. I was fifth row guardrail, so I seen everything.
So that was Hardway. That elbow was. I mean, it obviously was Hardway, but I mean, like, you think he was supposed to take a little bit more off of that, or?
I could just. I seen the scramble, like them trying to put it all together. I seen the scramble, them trying to put that together on the fly with Heyman. Right. I could see Heyman was calling shots out there trying to get Brock the fuck out, because Brock had a confused deer in the headlights look. Because everybody in my section was looking to the back for Goldberg, because everyone's like, "Oh, this is the setup for Goldberg to run in and save Randy and everything."
Right.
And it didn't obviously happen. I mean, overall, the pay-per-view was awesome. I mean, any pay-per-view ever there is live is always awesome. But, just my, as I said, up in the Gimmick Tree headquarter offices and hidden here in Virginia in a secret location in my comfy fat boy chair. I playing Madden 17 with you. I don't know. I really think that it was a great show. I just think that I think that the spot. I think Orton. I think people get in the heat of moments, and people tried to put a little bit of something extra on there. And when he did, it just went a little bit far.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like he was definitely aiming. He gave him two good ones when Randy put his hands down. He gave him one, and it hit him, but it didn't bust him open. So he gave him another one, and he put some fucking stank on it, like it was just the point of his elbow. And I was looking, and the blood was gushing so much, you almost think, there's so much of it, you almost think it's fake. The way I'm going to know is when they go and wipe it away. And they wiped it away, and it came back. And it came back again. It just kept coming back. And it's a nasty fucking cut, too.
Oh, yeah, the pictures of that were nuts.
And you can't, because it's not clean, it has to be stapled, like you saw. It has to be stapled.
Well, he got 10 across. He got 10 across the head. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
But I think for me it just ruined the whole match. It just ended too abruptly, and now what?
Okay, so let me ask everybody a question. Obviously, Goldberg was not part of the finish, because it would have happened. If that did not happen, how do you book the finish?
Not the way it ended. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's obvious. I mean,
pick him up for one last F5 and pin him.
No, that I'm saying imagine that he didn't hard weighed. He didn't get hard weighed, and it was they're going back and forth or whatever. How do you actually book the finish?
I wouldn't have put it at the main event. I'll tell you that.
You'd think you'd put your title change, or your new champion rather, as the last thing you see, rather
Even if
than
they did shit on the title.
right. But we'll get to that in a second.
No.
Yeah, we want to talk about that. You want to talk about the belt thing, or
whatever. I was just trying to come up with a way. How would you guys book the finish on that?
I like the RKO on the table. I feel like that's when Randy gets some hope spots in. He gets a little bit of a shine. But he goes. I think he drops down. They go back to the ring, fight back to the ring. Brock's a little dazed. Randy drops down like he does on his two fists for the RKO. As he pounces, Brock catches him for an F5, throws him, but in midair, Randy gets the RKO. 1-2, kick out. Fans go bullshit. Randy goes, oh my God, what do I have to do? He turns around into maybe an elbow or a flying knee or a big boot, something from Brock to knock him out, picks him up, F5, and he's just out like a light. I don't know. Anything. The only problem that they had with that stoppage was that they all stood around and assessed the situation for too long. You either have to stop the match or you have to let it go. They kind of played in between, and it didn't. That's not as good.
Yeah, because they're live on pay-per-view. They really didn't know what to do.
Yeah, right. And it seemed like you said, if Heyman's directing traffic, then something didn't quite go as planned. I'm sure it was planned. Listen, I think the plan was get him hard way, but don't make it a scene, which they made it a murder scene.
Yeah.
Hit him hard enough to bust him open. We'll call the match, and Randy can sell being knocked out. What actually happened was, maybe it's better this way. Maybe that finish worked better, because if it was just what if it was a weak cut and a little bit of dribbly blood, and they were like, no, that's it, he's out. Like, what would wouldn't work as well, so. Who knows?
It's so that it could stop with how big that cut was.
That one, yeah, that cut was definitely.
Side note: is anybody have PlayStation 4 online that plays online?
I have a PlayStation 4. I play what game?
Madden.
I don't have it now, but my roommate might get it.
Sweet. I'm beating somebody in China right now, so I need some American competition.
There you go. Some American competition. They pick a CFL team. That would be appropriate.
That'd be sweet.
Right. So we'll backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about going back from our main event to the Universal title, which first of all, nobody liked the name. Now the belt's kind of meh. Like, listen, it's not the worst belt that's ever been made,
Definitely
but
not.
that leather is not great.
Okay, so can I ask everybody a question? Okay, you guys watched the pay-per-view live, right?
Yeah.
Was Shane and Stephanie, or I'm sorry, was Mick and Mick Foley and Stephanie in the ring on the pay-per-view or no?
No.
Wow. Okay, I thought they edited it out because live in the arena they actually got in the ring and cut a promo. So I guess they were probably showing the video footage.
They must have been. Yeah, they must have been showing the fans, or maybe they did it before I saw it.
No, because I watched it back since then. Try to get like and it's just Mick Foley and Stephanie on the ground.
Okay.
But they got in the ring and they revealed the thing. And when they pulled it back, the fucking place went nuts. They lost it.
What do you think? What's your take on the belt?
My personal opinion, I think I agree with Seth Rollins. I never thought I would say I agree with Seth Rollins on anything, but I agree with you. Have two great guys having probably one of the best matches of the year. I mean, that match was crisp. I mean, it was on point. I mean, the whole deal. And for the fans to be a bunch of jerks over that, I don't know. I couldn't. That left a bad taste in my mouth, Brooklyn.
Yeah, but you know what though? I look at the both sides of it. You know, one point I agree with you and Seth Rollins that at the end of the day, it's about the two people competing for the title, and the match is more important than the belt. I get it, and to that they succeeded. The match was best match of the night, I think, for SummerSlam, or one of. John Cena, believe it or not, I think was the other match that stole the show. But this match was up there. But I will say this: the belt looks like shit. It looks like
it looks like. I mean, the only person that should ever hold that title is Eva Marie.
Yeah, 100%. So that's the thing. I kind of see, both views, but I do agree. For the Brooklyn fans to sabotage...
Yeah, there was no need to dwell on it for the entire match.
Right.
I mean, I looked at it, said, oh, that sucks, and then moved on with my life and enjoyed the match,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? If they got it out of their system, fine. But if was it too long? Is that what it is? It was just too long.
I don't know. I was like, but I could tell. I did. I mean, I could tell Bauer couldn't even. If you think about it, he didn't even hold the belt up when he won it. Yeah, I know his shoulder was fucked up, but he didn't even. It wasn't even like. He wasn't even like. He didn't. I think he was afraid he was gonna get booed out of the building with the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think somebody posted a picture from Brooklyn of last year when he had the NXT or he won the NXT title. He was holding it like when he went to the top turnbuckle. He was holding it down towards his waist in his right hand with his left hand in the air. So I guess someone was making the argument that he was replicating that pose from last year to show the progression.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's
people got on him for not holding the belt up. They're like, "Oh, it's disrespectful."
Well, it's a goddamn shame that just. I mean, goddamn, this guy brushed his ass for years and finally gets a shot, gonna run with the ball and gets injured.
Yep.
I mean,
and it's time to retire that powerbomb by Rollins.
Yeah, the crippler powerbomb.
Yeah. You guys can ask Sting about that in October.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. That's what ended Sting. That's what the final nail of Sting's career was, that front powerbomb. I mean, that's the reason certain moves should not do it.
Like you said, you were in the fifth row. So how close were you to that powerbomb?
Oh, I watched it and I was like, "Holy fucking Christ!" I said, "He just died."
Yeah, the way his elbow hit was no good.
Yeah, so, and I mean, and then if you go back even earlier, you remember when he ran his shoulder into the pole or whatever, right? Those are new poles they had not used. The electronic poles like that, they had not used those.
I don't like those.
So let me pose this question then. Is Rollins now to be somebody considered dangerous to be in the ring with?
Yes.
He broke Cena's nose.
Or is this another move that should just be banned from being used?
But see, the thing is, goddamn it, you got a curve stomp this guy. It's all these moves are the same guy. He
Right.
works like he's in ROH. Well, in New Japan, if he wants to work like that, well, he needs to ask for a release and go get his ass over there. I mean, that's just unfortunate. You don't work like that in the WWE.
No, and that's the thing. It's a different. Everybody talks about the WWE style, and then they go, "Oh man, isn't it great that the WWE is letting these guys wrestle their style?" Well, look at what happens. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna. I don't want to be that guy because I am in indie wrestling, and I don't want to have like a reputation of being down on the indies. But sometimes guys have to realize you got a bump card and you can dial the shit back. I got a sip of soda first before I make my point.
Nakamura and Joe this weekend.
They changed their style up. They didn't really do, a lot of indie quote-unquote spots, but take a look at guys like Daniel Bryan was allowed to pretty much work his style. He's out.
But that's what I'm saying. Daniel Bryan, Nigel McGuinness. I mean, guys that you eventually have to say, okay, do I want to be this indie darling? I will give the prime example to the first one I say this to every day I talk to him. Is Jason Kincaid. Kincaid is a guy that goes out there, and when he comes up, he'll wrestle in front of 50 people, and he'll do suicide bombs, and he'll flip and flop and dive over the fucking. Well, goddamn, what do you want a 20-year career? You're not going to get that. I mean, it's exciting, and it's exciting to watch, but as a promoter, it's like, fucking Christ, I want you to be around in 10 years from now.
Yeah, and I was, it's funny you mentioned that because I've, obviously been on Kincaid's, like Instagram and his Facebook, and you see the videos, and he does amazing shit. And you're right, he's innovating. The Kinnovations is what he calls them, and he does a lot of cool shit. But there's a time and a place, and maybe in front of 50
when you're wrestling in front of 30 people that don't even really care what happens to you.
Yeah.
Not the time or place.
It's not.
Right, you tone it down.
Yeah. Well, look at Mick Foley. Like it's sad to watch him.
Yeah,
like
that was
he barely walk up and down steps and shit now.
He seems to be moving a lot better. Granted.
Well, he's losing weight.
He lost weight, and he didn't had about 1,000 hip surgeries. Yeah, I mean, and I give credit to WWE. They've always tried to keep Mick around. When he wasn't under contract with TNA, I always tried to keep Mick part of something behind the scenes, or as a speaking arrangement, whatever, as a pay of respect for what he did for this business.
Right.
But I can promise you, it will not be like that all the time. You will go out there and you will have your career ended very quickly.
Especially if they're warning you not to do it, and you still go out and
that's the thing too that I'm very with the way concussions are nowadays with people and workers. It is impossible. It is impossible to sit there and not be protective of the wrestlers.
Yeah, definitely.
So how about John Cena, AJ Styles? Because in my opinion, that was the match of the night.
Incredible.
Is great.
John Cena next year. AJ Styles needs to send his WrestleMania bonus check because he'll be in the main event of WrestleMania. He needs to send that bonus check to John Cena's house. John Cena certified made him at that was a clean pin.
Oh yeah.
And how many times over the years has that been what we've wanted? That's all we've really wanted from John Cena, was that moment of putting somebody over.
So now here's the question. Is John Cena giving up?
No, taking time off.
Yeah, he's gonna take time off. He'll be back.
Now? So Nikki comes back, so he's like, fuck this, I gotta get out of here and do something else?
Yeah.
I can't be a reality show.
I can't be on the road with my wife. Trust me. Dude, it never works out.
That new reality show, I feel bad for him because he has to live with those three people. It's John Cena in a house with the Bellas and Daniel Bryan. If you ever wanted to build babyface sympathy for John Cena, that's all you got to do is lock him in a house with those three people.
No.
Johnny Ace swinging by.
I've seen a couple of the episodes on somebody gave me on a disc, and he looks like a brick. He looks like a fucking he's all talking about his like Daniel Bryan and him were talking about like sports, like he's like, yeah, I gotta get my car, my 6 sports cars hand waxed. You're like, what the? You're like, okay, yeah, and Daniel Bryan's puffing around in a little SUV, and John Cena's like got a Ferrari with a collectible Ferrari edition in his house.
Well, he's a car person, so it's a little bit more understandable then.
I just want to see him go over to Dana Bryan's house and just be like, find compost heap.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
And just his reaction to it.
Cut a promo on compost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you really do in a situation of if you're John Cena? I mean, has anybody not seen those recent things Cena's been doing? Like those little comedy things where he's been doing
the movies and stuff. Yeah. He's good at them.
Right.
He did great on the ESPYs.
Yeah. Well, he did this thing where he was like a job coach. I seen one.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
What's her name?
I personally think that they are trying to figure out what they want to do, like with Cena, because they're never going to make Cena a heel. But I think eventually they'll bring back the attitude they're fooling with the attitude era more and more, if you notice. Like it's a very slow
Even
turn.
just what the New Day's been saying lately, it's been getting very close to the attitude type of.
Their whole feud's around the dick.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, they sit there and they had eggs and cups saying it was a man's balls. I mean, it's very much looking like the old Attitude Era, and that would be great. Everybody would be happy to bring the Attitude Era back.
Yeah, I think so. At least some of it.
But not the over the top fucking dumb shit that they're used to,
Right.
But but some good solid, some good solid comedy mixed in. I mean, I really, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of sad that I'm to that point in my life where I pretty much realized that wrestling has completely changed and it will never go back to the way it was.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you do as a promoter. I mean, you see these guys like PWX. I'm not gonna classify ourselves in that category, but the ROHs and the other ones, that try these we're gonna bring wrestling back to wrestling. Nobody will ever be able to compete with Vince until one thing happens. So somebody gets on a legitimate network.
Right.
And they have their product, and that's the only way that you can, because you have to be able to compete with a solid network. I mean,
yeah.
And be able to do it. I mean, and I really think it's amazing too that what did everybody? Okay, everybody's seen. If Bauer hadn't got hurt, right? And somebody was going to ask you that, I was thinking about it. If Bauer doesn't get hurt, what do they do? Obviously, the club was the hottest thing coming out of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you bring the club? Do you bring the club together? Do they have? I mean, do the New Day lose the tag team titles on Raw to the club, and then the club has the tag belts. Bauer has the world title. Do you run with that storyline and try to bring them together?
Could have been fun. But
there was a lot of
segment really didn't show unity, so they could have just been teasing there was none and to have some.
Yeah, because I mean, the one promo they showed at SummerSlam was them together, and then Bauer walks in and walked out and everything.
Yeah, I think
I thought-
they might have. I don't know if there was a false thing, or maybe maybe their original plan involved not having Balor with the club at first. I don't know.
I thought it was going to be foreshadowing, but I guess it was just a cool moment.
Yeah. Well, now doesn't mean. Yeah, it's basically meaningless now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, when he comes back, they're gonna. That's really. You know, what's the follow up now? Is he gonna be slapped with? Is he injury prone now? Is he one of those guys?
He's in his late 30s. He's been touring for 2 years on NXT. You know, his body. People. That's what I said. That's what I
And
said
he's
a long
5
time
feet
ago.
tall.
Yeah. I mean, how old is Bauer exactly?
I don't know.
I mean, he's in his upper 30s, and he's already been on touring for 2 years on NXT.
Right.
I mean, and he was making every date on NXT.
35.
Yeah, he's 35. Just turned
Okay.
35.
That's hard. That's hard on a body. That is whew. That is brutal on a body.
Especially Japan. Like, not to say that WWE wrestles a lighter schedule because they don't wrestle a lighter schedule, but the matches that they wrestle in Japan.
Oh, it's stiffer style, the whole deal.
But that's probably why they wanted to pull the trigger on him
Now,
immediately out the gate.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah. I mean, what they should have done is they should have done it a year earlier, but
Yeah. I mean, think about how shitty this is now. Like, they finally pull the trigger on this guy. They make him the first ever Universal Champion for 18 hours.
Not even.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's that quickly, and does that change the course of his career now? Is he going to be Is he going to be Dolph Ziggler? Let's talk about that shit show of a match.
I don't think he'll be a
Dean
Dolph.
Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. God.
There's too much with the demon they can do to benefit.
And to keep him fresh, yeah. I think they should change the color scheme more.
They did the writing again, so I'm
Bauer
hoping they'll
And the
do
Bauer needs to fucking Bauer will be fine. I mean, he's so over. I mean, he'll be completely fine. Now going to what you're talking about, Ziggler. Oh, fucking Ziggler! What a fucking dumb piece of shit Ziggler was. I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, his whole fucking. Why would he not just? I would just be like, listen, give me my goddamn release, please.
He's making too much money.
What's that?
He's making too much money to ask for a release.
Making a ton of money.
I mean,
Although Ziggler's one that would make a fortune on the indies.
Oh yeah, he would.
Yeah, but would you want to?
I happen to be a very big fan of Dolph Ziggler. This was not his best night by far.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, if you were him, would you want to work the indies after working WWE? Yeah.
No, of course not. But I mean, if it came to be where I had no choice, I could work two dates, in a weekend and make $10,000. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Here's my
travel
thing.
taken care of as well.
See, here's my thing. That shows you Ziggler does not give a fuck about the business. Only Ziggler gives a fuck about it is that he's getting a paycheck. Because if Ziggler was like, I'm so about the business and I love the wrestling business, right? Then Cody Rhodes decided to leave and he's doing pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Now I heard. Listen, and I don't know nothing about this. I heard this was kind of a work thing with Cody Rhodes, where they like let him go out and do like an excursion, and then they're gonna bring him back.
I mean, we said right away that he'll be back.
Oh yeah, there's no chance he won't be.
Yeah, I mean, but how long do you think that's gonna take, though? What's the timeline on that?
I mean, I would say a good solid another year or so.
Okay.
I mean, he's getting booked left and right. On the indies, he's being put into some dream match situations.
Yep.
Right.
So I mean, it's yeah, I'd say no more than a year he'll be back.
Yeah.
I guess a year, that seems like a reasonable
Yeah.
timeline. A year. It's a good one. I hope he does. You know, I not that not that you can't make a living on the indies. You can, but it's a lot tougher of a road to work than that guaranteed money. That match was not very good though. Let's talk about that right
It was
away.
probably one of the worst matches of the night, in my opinion. And it's a shame because I love Ambrose and I love Ziggler, but something just didn't seem to click in that match for me.
How about at the end of that? How about the promo of Ambrose stealing Kevin Cross's promo from a week earlier? Have you guys heard about that? Have you guys heard about that?
No, that's
can't
fill me
say
in on
I
that.
did.
What's that?
Kevin Cross did a promo. I mean, I don't know if it was stolen accidentally but it was literally, you know, the promo of when Ziggler or when Ambrose is like working out in the desert or whatever, doing like he was getting ready for the show or the fight they were showing or whatever, like him training for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Cross did a promo literally a week before that promo was filmed, and you could literally mirror the two promos.
Interesting.
And Ambrose actually lives in Vegas, so and the promotion that Cross did that for was actually Air TV in Vegas.
Huh.
So it's just kind of funny, not to put Kevin Cross over, because I mean he's already, he is a legit guy, and he will be, he's a bona fide star in the business, but it's just kind of funny how the WWE and even their talent and all their career is watching the indies right now, because the indies are getting hotter. And
Imitation's the sincerest form of flattery.
Well, I mean, the indies are getting hotter, so I mean that's the thing, man. The indies are hotter right now, and it could really turn into something in the future with the way the indies are coming. I don't think we'll ever get back to a territorial system, thank God. But
yeah.
I mean, but I think that we are start seeing people that want to see more and be involved in more.
Yeah. No, that's a fair way of putting it. Is we won't ever get back to the territory system, but that doesn't mean that we won't have a strong base on the indies, which we already do. Like you said, we're on that cusp, and the better WWE does, the better the indies do. That's just a fact. So the more relevant they are in pop culture, the more people will want to seek out other products. So.
And
You hope
today's
they do
indie
well.
guys are tomorrow's NXT guys.
Exactly, and you never know. That's part of the draw now too. Oh, maybe I'll go to one of these shows. You don't know who could be there. That'll be a big star one day.
Will NXT become a platform by itself where you have
It
stars
pretty
just
much
stay
is.
there?
It's its own brand at this point, man. It's
I'm talking people who are lifelong NXT instead of being called
Right.
up to the Raw or SmackDown.
No,
I could see some NXT lifers.
I mean, you have NXT lifers. Like I personally don't think Joe will ever go over there, the main roster.
I thought with the loss he might go.
No, I mean you got too much stuff with Nakamura. Nakamura and him can have too much stuff still.
Couple more
Yeah,
matches.
Yeah, a couple more paydays, and then Joe can I think a lot of people are nervous working Joe. Still,
What, because of the Tyson Kidd issue?
I think so. I mean, and it's unfortunate because Joe may not ever make it to the main roster. Which because
I want to see
And
Joe versus Brock.
Joe will be going to the roster. There's no doubt in my mind.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
I mean,
I can't see him not.
I think he's a guy that deserves it.
Well, I mean, of course
Especially
the
with
man
the two
deserves.
brands.
I mean, the man damn sure deserves it. I mean, the man been on top. He's on top of TNA. I mean, he, definitely is a draw. I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know I don't know with the injury to Tyson Kidd, how that'll really affect him long term. There's still a lot of people that are nervous getting in the ring with him.
Has there been an update on Kid? Anything.
He's never going to work again.
I was just more talking about his health. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's a bad health because I mean, can you imagine being that? I mean, that guy. He's finally about ready to break through with Cesaro, and you go work fucking Joe in a fucking match that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and then you get that's the match that does it.
Yeah.
You almost hope, if I'm gonna go out in a fucking championship match.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, something.
Isn't that how it always happens, though?
Yeah, it's some
It's
shitty
always
little,
that
like with
minor-
Edge. Remember, Edge was out for like a fucking year with a torn Achilles or something,
Yeah.
and it was on a house show.
Happened with Rick Rude too.
Oh, with the back injury, yeah, that was. I don't think that was a very big match.
Hey Charlie, just to switch gears for a second, how was karaoke night?
That looks like fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Saw a couple of videos of Bill Apter singing.
Yeah, you're definitely yeah. Well, I'll have to show you some of the videos in person. I can't put on Facebook because some of the stuff that happened after. It's not family friendly for Facebook.
I checked your live stream for a little bit.
No, even the live stream stuff I had to edit. I had to cut the camera off when certain things were ready to happen. Some vidockery was ready to happen. So unfortunately, I mean, people were looking. A couple of the guys were looking for they were trying to find all these girls. They're talking about, I'm gonna go holler at this girl and this girl. I was like, well, you guys ain't got to do any of that. All you have to do is go to tagmeadate.com and you got that.
Right.
All you do is go to tagmeadate.com and I was like, you can find all the women you want.
Preach.
Beautiful, busty women who like craft beer.
See, I mean, let me now switching notes here, not to plug anybody else, but has anybody ever heard of this Tinder website?
Yeah.
As an engaged man, you shouldn't be on that website, sir.
I'm not on that website, sir.
Okay, good.
But I witnessed firsthand this thing take place, which is a funny story. I don't know how. I will not mention the names of the people that were involved to protect the innocent and their marriages.
There you go.
Ooh.
But literally, I watched at SummerSlam weekend a wrestler I know who is married go on Tinder because that's what he does. He says when he goes to city, he does a Tinder deal.
Oh.
Oh boy.
And literally, click it, hit the light thing, boom, and within like an hour, the girl was in his hotel room.
Yeesh.
Has
I'm
our
doing something
society,
wrong.
That's quick.
has our society just completely gone to like there's no morals left at all?
Pretty much.
Oh, fair enough. I just wanted to ask. I mean, I thought so.
We're at the fall of society, pretty much. Yeah.
You're a super hater for even mentioning it.
What is it?
Oh, I was making a joke that you're a horrible person for even mentioning people's morals, and because that would be the exact claim that anyone would make.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I personally don't care. Okay, here's my thing. I don't care what you do. If you want to be a scumbag and you want to go sleep around with a bunch of girls or whatever, that's fine. That's your business, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
here's what I would tell you, as a person that's in this business. Don't do it in front of a bunch of fucking wrestlers.
Right.
That's
I
probably
mean-
not the best thing.
Yeah. If you want somebody to know something, you tell a wrestler.
Yeah.
It'll be out there, fucking.
Oh, you don't know, tell Charlie Armstrong, and I'll broadcast it right on the podcast. I don't care. Fucking
All right, so I mean, we're not gonna blow up anybody's spot, but I gotta know: is this a former WWE guy or a current WWE guy?
Yeah,
or
I was gonna ask that.
current,
Thank you.
current.
Ooh.
current. Oh, that makes things more interesting.
Okay, let's limit
Let's
this.
not- Let's not
put
do
it
the.
like-
Let's not, so we don't get sued.
I have a
Hey, Charlie.
guess. I have a
Charlie.
guess.
It's the imagination.
I was
Charlie,
gonna, all I was gonna say,
Yeah.
main event or low card. That's all I was gonna ask.
I'll say he was on SummerSlam.
That's all I needed to know.
And I'm going to say we're going to be talking off air later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally, I will say that he was on the main show at SummerSlam.
That's all I wanted to know.
All right, boys, it's Smackdown time.
Ooh,
All right.
Hey Vince, hey, I'm on the East Coast this week, man. Get with me, man, so we can work out
Yeah,
October.
I gotta call you. I'll definitely call you. I wasn't available to call you right when you messaged me, so I'll get some free time over the next couple days, and I'll give you a ring.
All right, brother. I will talk
All
soon.
right, cool.
All right, bye.
All right, later. All right, everybody. This has been another edition of the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com. I am your host, Vince Barry. I hope you all have had a wonderful evening so far. You can check us out every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. There's going to be a time change coming up in a couple months, so we'll still be at 7, but some of you may not be, so be aware of that. But you go to YouTube.com.
Isn't it just Arizona? That doesn't
Arizona. That's right. That's the weird one. And then
Or
some
are
people,
we
if you
the
listen
weird
in Europe,
ones?
we might be the weird ones, because in Europe, I don't think they do the daylight savings thing either. But you can go to youtube.com, type in your search bar, tag me a date, all one word, tag me a date, no spaces. And you can see our archives, see our scheduled shows, you can watch us live, all that good stuff. And as I said, the show is brought to you by tagmeadate.com, which is the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. Find your tag team partner and make wrestling night your date night. Sign up now, and your first 30 days are free. Sign up before we start charging money, that is happening. So sign up while it's still free. But go to tagmeadate.com for all the details, and we'll see you here next week, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on YouTube for the War Report.